Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising, beautiful, melanated, original, whatever you respectfully call yourself, people. It's your girl, Straight No Chaser with the Queen. Thank you, Kathy. And I'm jumping in here real quick because I got the grandkids. And I just wanted to say something on the Carlee Russell. And I usually don't really jump on here talking about, you know, the BS, but I just wanted to address this because it's like, do we have another Jussie Smollett Grand Rising Brandon Cruz? Do we have another Jussie Smollett case on our hands? Like, do we? Can y'all hear me pretty good? My microphone been acting up. So, do we have another Jussie Smollett case? Because this makes no sense, and I'm just stepping in here. Can you hear me, Queen? Can you hear me? I'm stepping in here because it just doesn't seem right. And I'm not going to be here long. I'm not coming here to bash us. Um it doesn't seem right to me because well, it's not right because we have so much going on with us. We have human trafficking, we that is serious. Human trafficking is serious. Then we have child trafficking. We have all this going on, and as black people, I mean, I'm sorry, but we can't afford to make crazy mistakes. We always tell black people to stick together, stick together. And I was really, really, that's right, Tiff. I'm gonna put your comment up here. You hope that is not a Jussie Smollett case because people already don't take our cases seriously, but something seems fishy. And that's right. And that's why I'm here. Something seems fishy. You right, Brandon. Everything about this case seems off. And people already don't take us seriously. And when black people do stupid stuff, I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but it don't seem right. And that's why I didn't do nothing. I shared it, but when I looked at the video, when I looked at the video and I seen the car driving, because I'm from Birmingham, so I know that highway. And when I seen the car driving and I seen other cars out there, me and my daughter looked and I was like, why ain't nobody else seen the baby walking? And when her car was slowing down, when her car was slowing down, um, it looked like she started slowing down almost a half a mile, maybe, from where she claimed she seen the baby. And then we were like, dang, did she see the baby? Because I was waiting for the car to pull over. So I don't know if she's having her own personal problems and needed attention, but something wasn't right. And then when she showed up on foot at her mom's house, I knew, like, wait a minute, because I'm gonna tell you something. Yes, she would have passed by the baby, Queen. If everybody goes there, I just didn't have time to pull it up because I've been working. If you go by it, and shout out to the chat, shout out to the followers, shout out to everyone out there. But if you go look at the video, you see that her signal light starts going. And I don't know what's on her mind, but I'm thinking, like, dang, she seen a baby in the dark that far away where she came and pulled up, but nobody is saying nothing. And nobody is saying anything. And then for her to walk home, there are cameras everywhere. If she's in a neighborhood, and especially in Birmingham, people have home cameras and everything. Nobody seen her walk home. Nobody knew who dropped her off. And then for the family, and the reason why I made this video is because we, as I was saying earlier, it was beautiful to see us stick together. As our people, it was beautiful for us to stick together. But it seems like when the cases go viral, they be BS, like the Jussie Smollett case. Now, this wasn't a case of racism because she got national attention. Me and Kathy B was talking, and Kathy B said, ain't it strange? Why did her case, out of all the thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of black girls missing, how did hers hit mainstream? And it gives you two things to think of. Why did it hit mainstream? And they usually don't. And maybe it was because they was a baby, but human trafficking is real. And, you know, did it really happen? Is mainstream media deflecting us from something? Because every time we get big news out weird out the way, just like the Titanic, the little Titanic sub that sunk, they didn't talk about the 500 black people that's still missing at sea that ran from Libya. So it's always a deterrent somehow when they give us highlights in their white news. It's an insult if this did not go missing, because we already don't have, if this girl didn't go missing and didn't get kidnapped, what's going to happen with the next black woman that might happen, that this could happen to? Because that night I was like, dang, they were bold to do it on the interstate, and all those cars, nobody's seeing anything. And her wig, her phone, her Apple Watch, everything was happened to be left right there. And then I was thinking it was the police because I'm from Birmingham. Now, off of I-65, soon as you go into Birmingham, there was this hotel. And when I worked in the news, this hotel used to be a hub for prostitutes, as they say. Now, when I look back at it, because we didn't really know a lot about human trafficking, they used to give the stories all the time. Human trafficking is a problem in Birmingham, Alabama. And this one hotel, as soon as you come off of I-65 near the Green Springs exit, you will see a hotel. They shut it down, but they had human trafficking all the time. When we aired the news, they would give a little segment of human trafficking. They would catch 20 or 30 people in human trafficking in Birmingham. You can Google it. And that story we just bump over that story and go back to Pookie and Ray Ray shooting each other. See, they always fill the news with black faces so that you could think that black people are always dangerous. But Birmingham, Alabama is a hub for human trafficking. I don't know if y'all know that. And Birmingham, Alabama is only 3 hours away from Atlanta, Georgia. So Birmingham, Alabama and Atlanta, Georgia are just up the block from each other. In Atlanta, Georgia, not too long ago, they found a whole house with about 36 kids or 36 people from human trafficking. Nobody talks about these stories because you always looking for that regular story that you're programmed to listen out for. Somebody shot somebody. Pookie Ray Ray shot somebody. Karen did this to somebody. But it's an insult if this girl did not get kidnapped, and that just takes away from our struggle. That takes away from our struggle. Because we barely get attention. And then when we get this attention, Jussie Smollett, no matter what he was trying to do, he could have used his platform to bring awareness to racism, but you made up this story and you made us look stupid. And then this woman, whatever problem she's having at home, she comes out and you come back. Maybe she's having personal problems at home and needed attention. And then for us to band together, it was everywhere. And then she's back home. And then all of a sudden, nobody let them have their privacy. Tell us, was she raped? Was she beat? How did the kidnappers drop her off at her address down the block? I call bullshit. I'm just sorry. I call bullshit, and I call black people like that an insult to the struggle, an insult to the movement, because it's not right. What y'all girls doing? I told y'all I'm doing my show. Y'all gonna sit down? I'm sorry, the grandkids. You sleepy? And like I said, human trafficking is real. I worry about where my grandkids at and doing every day. If her mom and them, I don't know if the mom and them and all them, I don't think they involved. I think they want privacy because they're embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. All of us as black people's embarrassed because it's an insult. We showed how we had unity. It went viral. We showed unity, and then out the blue, this girl walks back home, and we're supposed to, like, Do everybody think black people stupid, even black people? I'm on live. People can see you. Do black the grandkids say hey? What's the name? Kathy B, Brandon Cruz, Robert Taylor. Hey, Robert Taylor. We Black Love. 17. Tiff. T Wood. Woodward. My name is Zola. My name is Zola. My name is Zyla. Okay. But human trafficking is real, and we got our girls to be worried about. I wasn't going to be here long. They said hi, y'all. Hi. Okay. Now let me finish doing my show. Let me finish doing it. And they said, hey, babies. Hey. But it's not right because we have to think about our kids. We got to think about our kids and then to be distracted with BS. Like this is an insult. And then what if it ain't? What if something really happened? We heard that she came to her mom's house. She went to the UAB hospital. And then all of a sudden she's okay. I mean, she's back home. So it doesn't make any sense. But I and then for them to say they want their privacy. You didn't want your privacy when you wanted us looking, so we want answers. Shh. Grand Rising, we want answers. We deserve answers. For people to say, well, it's not our business. They want privacy. No, tell us what happened. Tell us how you got home. Stop pushing me. Say okay. Y'all don't start. It's about to be bedtime for them. Yeah, we want answers because human trafficking is real. It's not fair for the people who went missing that same night. It's not fair for the people who are missing. On our stereo, on our website, we were talking about how there's 70,000 black girls missing. We talked about this on Good Morning from Africatown, LA. If Kathy, if you're in the chat, can you drop that in the chat? But it was not fair to the people who are missing for real. This girl got national attention. I don't care, black or whatever. We already got to share the spotlight with Susie Q's and Susie Cakes. When they go missing, they get all the publicity. Nobody talks about the number of black girls that are missing. Not black girl, black kids. CPS, there's hundreds of thousands of kids missing and nobody talks about it. I'm gonna give the immigrants a little light. All the immigrants that ICE took, remember that time during COVID, 1,500 kids just went missing. You want to go in the room and go lay down by yourself? Okay, then. They went missing. Nobody cares about all these other kids that are really missing, probably being tortured as we speak. There was a judge, I think his name, he was either a judge, Robert Steele. He died so-called of COVID. If you look up the video, I think his name was Robert Steele. Look up his videos. He talks about how the government or rich people fly kids in by the plane load. All these kids are missing. What is human trafficking? You look at Jeffrey Epstein and they say it's more islands. They say he made $1 billion, right? How they know how much money is being made in human trafficking? You're counting, so that means you know where the hell the money is coming from and going to, right? We seen the mess with Wayfair. It's not fair to the people who are missing. And then when you come back home, you don't give no excuse and you want your privacy. You want your privacy because it's some BS going on. It's not fair to the kids that's missing. It's not fair to the people who are being raped as we speak. I guess we can't say raped now because the people who rule the world, who are kidnapping kids and doing stuff, control the words you use because they don't like to hear that. I've never heard of nothing so much since I've been on for YouTube. You can't say the RAPE word or the KILL word. RAPE. Yeah, Tiff, Ethiopia stopped adoptions because look at all these kids that go missing, kids they get over here and kill. Not even talking about them Arabs and Indians, how they do the black people. It's not fair to those people. It's not fair for the child that needed that attention that she got. It's not fair. And then to tell us you want your privacy, hell no. Everybody posted. And then everybody like, thank you guys. She at least she made it safe. Y'all must have wanted her. Yeah, exactly. You got to tiptoe talk so you don't make the child molesters and the rapists uncomfortable. It's not fair to the kids that are missing that needed that spotlight. You got underground tunnels. That judge Robert Steele, y'all look it up. I think he was a judge or he worked for CPS, and he was saying how they come in the boat. They fly these kids in by the plane load. What about the Mexican lady that cried? Is on Instagram. She said, I tried to post the video. They took my video down. And she said she seen a whole 18-wheeler truck full of dead bodies and they were kids. The judge or whoever he was, Robert Steele, he was saying that once they finish doing what they want to do to them sexually, then they use them for organs. How do they know? How you getting melanin? How you getting all this stuff? The lady from the eight that seen the kids full of 18-wheelers when she was crying, you look it up. She was crying because she knew that they seen her sore and then she ended up dead. Nobody is looking for kids that are missing. They come around and they keep telling you CPS can take your child, but yet they have a history of missing children. Nobody is saying anything. They're the biggest child traffickers ever. Now, when something happens with a black person, it's an excuse to not give us any attention, not like we getting any anyway. Grand Rising, LeVar P. Good to see you. Yeah, he was kept quiet. Everybody know that. Let's talk about Oprah and all her rapist friends. If they take the video, they just take the video. Oprah, every white man she's all cozied up to, they always seem to have some charges with missing children or child sex trafficking and stuff. And nobody, and she's always downing black men. That don't seem strange to y'all? Her school was over in Africa and all them girls missing. You don't see her make a highlight of nothing on her show. She don't highlight nothing on her platform. Her and her little friend Gail, they'll make sure they talk about a black man though. But yes, the Jussie Smollett, Carlee Russell case, I think is BS. I don't think that anything happened. I think it just went more. I think it went more viral than what she thought. She probably wanted some attention. Something happened, and now it's out there. Because where did you eat and sleep? Birmingham ain't that big. 459 to where her house ain't that far. You could have made it home that night. You were going for 2 days. What happened? It makes no sense whatsoever. I'm just pissed off because at the moment where we had highlighted attention for a missing black woman, and she's in nursing school, all of a sudden we just supposed to go away because that's how the news do us. They throw news at us, then they sit back and tell us, well, they never follow up on the story. They might follow up here or there, but they just keep throwing news at us, and we can't even remember the news from last week. All we know is that children go missing every day. Human trafficking is real. It's real with them putting kids on the side of the road, carriages, drugs or chemicals on money, and you pick it up. The vans, the kidnapping and human trafficking and child trafficking is real. But the most time that kids go missing is through child protective services, immigration services, and in the streets. So I want to give this message as a black person, you got to check yourself. Watch what you're doing. Watch how, because a black person, no matter what you want, or if you don't want, you represent black people. No matter what you don't want to represent, but if your skin look like mine, you represent black people. And if you don't like the word black, I'm just sorry that you still represent black people. We can say melanated or whatever. So we gotta be careful because we at the bottom of the totem pole and we trying to come up and they keep kicking us down and we keep kicking ourselves down with BS. I think that this is my opinion. I think that she was doing something. Maybe she was stressed because nursing school can be stressful. I think maybe she was stressed. Whatever happened with her family or her boyfriend, because her boyfriend is making the statements. And I think she didn't expect it to go national because what? Most black people, we don't get national news. Then everybody was talking about send a picture of her without her wig. Let me tell you something. If a grown person go missing, I'm pretty sure they not walking around the streets unless somebody got them drugged up. That's what I was telling Kathy B. I said, if they kidnapped her, why are we out here looking for her? She's a grown person. She's not like a 16-year-old that they can put on the corner and make her do something. She was in nursing school, from what I understand. So it wasn't like when everybody kept saying, listen to what we say. Everybody kept saying, put a picture of her without her wig, this and that. Let's look for her. Let's look for her. When we start looking for underground cities like I think it was a black girl that got away. And she said when she got away from human trafficking, she said that she was in an underground city. She said they have their own police, their own presidents. Even a white woman said this. There was a town in Texas. The judge, the police, and everybody is in on it. And they do what they want because they got money. Money allows them to do what the hell they want to do. But if we want to look for the children, if we want to look for people who are missing, because either you're a great kidnapper, nobody ever finds millions of bodies, but there's millions of people missing. Atlanta was the child kidnapping hub. You remember the Atlanta child murders? So if we're going to be looking for people who are going missing, first of all, we need to start checking CPS. How can you make a child? How can you be missing thousands and thousands of children when you know you took this child to this house, right? You took this child to this house. You got to send a check to this house because you're CPS. So how come you do not know where these children are? ICE. You took these kids from these immigrants, their parents, and you put them somewhere. How come they keep getting to make mistakes? But if me and you make a mistake, it's over with. We got to get our credit checked. If we need something, if we make a mistake, we got to make sure our credit good, our background good. But CPS can keep making the same mistake over and over again. It's in every state. It's in every state. Just like we were saying about the Democrats and the Republicans. Why ain't nobody looking at underground tunnels? Why ain't nobody looking in? Because they're always in the hood looking for drugs and stuff. Grand Rising one, who cares? And why? We can find these kids. If Mexico can dig tunnels to bring drugs, and you see girls saying that there's underground cities with children and things, why aren't we not looking for those unexpected places? Because the people who have the money, the people who rule, don't want it done. Why is JP Morgan and Chase being able to pay the victims of Epstein? Who are the victims? How come we don't know these names and it ain't no pictures? Why ain't we hearing stories from them? They're paying them $290 million. Why is JP Morgan and Chase the one that has to pay the victims of Jeffrey Epstein's? Nobody asking that. How do they know that Jeffrey Epstein was a billionaire? If me and you have money, they always coming after black people saying that you bought this with drugs, or they can trace our money. They even, what did Biden do? You can trace Cash App and all this now. Then how come you can't trace who paid Epstein all that money that made him a billionaire? what do you say? Why is J.P. Morgan and Chase smuggling over $1 billion worth of cocaine on a freight boat and they asses ain't got shut down yet? Exactly. Why ain't Wells Fargo shut down yet? These are the same banks, and these banks are families because we can build a bank. You know that, right? These banks are nothing but family members passing down generational wealth, and they've been around since slavery. How come that nobody is arresting these families of the J.P. Morgan and Chase? Jeffrey Epstein. Who was Jeffrey Epstein? Did he have wives, girlfriends, sisters, brothers? Why ain't Oprah being investigated? Because she's always connected to all these white men who are being accused of sex trafficking, raping, and pilling. I guess we can't say the KILLING. They got us sitting around following rules while they break every rule known to humanity. But again, Jussie Smollett, Carlee Russell, I don't know what happened, but your family owe us an answer. You owe us an answer. When we did that with Jussie Smollett, he just nicely went away. He nicely went away, and they made a butt out of him. But yet, why would they? Even though this with Jussie Smollett and Carlee, I have nothing, because these rich white people have done worse, and they keep being in positions. The governor of Alabama is Kay Ivey. She wore a black face. She executed an innocent black man, and she gets to be governor. How come black people are the only ones punished? Every now and then you got a white person punished. You're not gonna see no Chinese people in prison and here in Alabama. In America. You barely see one or two. You don't see, so I guess Chinese people don't commit crimes. Asians. You see some Hispanics, but the prisons, it's a known fact, the prisons are packed with black men because of marijuana. And you turn around and we still getting arrested, and white men are making millions of dollars off of marijuana. They got dispensaries everywhere. There are two Americas, y'all. And that second America, I named it the United Empires of Aquila, because it's time for us to get land and separate ourselves from the inner cities of America. It's time for us to sit somewhere and stop worrying about going to fancy restaurants, fancy vacations, and start worrying about getting ourselves in a place where we're safe, so that we cannot be human trafficked, so that we cannot be the victims of this white gang called America, so that they can keep making themselves rich off of the sweats of our back, and you're making their lives last longer from the blood and organs of our children, and fulfilling their sexual needs off of our children. I'm telling you, it makes no sense. They knew that when you put money in the bank, you know where it comes from. If you take over $5,000 out the bank, you got to answer to the bank of what you're doing with it. How come nobody is questioning where the money came in and out of Jeffrey Epstein's account? Then they do a stupid, then they kill him, and then they say he committed suicide so we could just forget about it. We have a micronation, and we're getting land. We're putting ourselves together to get land so that we can have a safe place for us to go to as black people. Because you cannot go to other countries right now. You can, but we're not really safe. Look at the black girl who's getting arrested in Dubai because she yelled, because the women don't have rights over there. That is an African place taken over by other people. Then you got all these people around the world with their rules and regulations. People have power, and they're doing nothing but destroying other people with it. Do you want a safe place where your children are safe and your neighbor is watching out for your house and your children like you watching out for your neighbor's house and your neighbor's children? That's what we're trying to build. Do you want a place where we probably can't eat fancy restaurants until we build our fancy restaurants? That's right, Kathy. We need to know their laws, because I can't say it ain't countries that it ain't safe for us to go to. But we need to start doing things like this, putting our money together and taking our money out of banks and putting it into land, because they're taking your money out the banks. They're using your money every day to get rich. taking our money, buying land, and finding places that countries and places that are black friendly and knowing their laws and their cultures. And while we're here in America, we need to be gathering in places where we got each other back. I keep saying like the Amish, but a little bit better, because we're not trying, we're doing micronation status. I want everybody to study with a micronation. I don't care if you build your own, but we all need to come together. We need plots of land where we build safe societies for us. And that's what we're doing for the United Empires of Akiblon. If you asking, we on our website, it says $10 a month. We asking, that's $120 a year. Some of us are putting down buying land. All we're trying to do is buy land together, acres, and then not what you see Brother Ben X and all them doing, building communities. It's still in America. We're trying to build communities. Within that community, we have our businesses, our houses, our schools, our clinics. Look after each other. You watch my back as I watch your back, because right now the world is against us. A place where we don't allow the police to cross the line. We don't need your police. We have our own. That's what we're building. That's the vision. Yep. We get extra high interest rates made for us. When we build our houses on this private land, we only paying land taxes to them. They're not getting in our business. We want solar energy. We want to grow our own foods. We want to grow. Everybody ain't vegan. We want to raise our own animals. We got to buy plots of land all over, because all the land in the world is taken by the greedy right now. We need to be learning how to fly drones so we can see the enemy coming. We built Black Wall Street and all that, but we don't need to be worrying about trying to insert ourselves in the government. We don't need to be worrying about voting and stuff. We need to be worried about going somewhere safe for us. That's right. They don't want us to know our true history. But again, this Jussie Smollett and Carlee Russell, I don't know what the heck is going on, but your family, Carlee, you do owe us an explanation, because you did this. You owe us an explanation. And Black people, we're not going to get nowhere voting Democrat, voting Republican. We're only going to get somewhere when we get together, and we got to get away from certain Black people too. We got to get away from certain Black people too. My vision is to have plots of land, like territories, and in that plot of land, we have our own small houses, or however, our own stores. I mean, it's not going to be like the American dream, because see, everybody is a third world country except for America. France is raggedy. All France and all these European countries got all their wealth from stealing from Africa, Americans, and everywhere else. They take all the goods and they go over there and build. That's why they don't have nothing. If y'all see a future where we sit around campfires and sit around and read to our children, build to our children, build for our children, uplift our children, teach our children, that's where we're trying to go. Even if it's an acre, even if it's 50 acres. Yes, that's how we separate. Y'all keep yelling separation, but we got to do it. It's a couple of us buying some acres. We need more. It ain't about nobody being better than the next. It's not about making money, because in here, it's going to be our money among each other. Shopping among each other. We'll be so good where we don't have to go to these places. We got to stop longing to go to these big cities and live in these high rises and live among our enemies. You got a lot of Black women speaking up now saying how successful they are, but the wrong thing they did was moving affluent shit, basically rich white neighborhoods, because they kids go to these rich white or these predominantly white schools, and they come out talking white. And when I say talking white, I ain't talking about knowing your words. I'm talking about your enunciation. Because see, when I worked in corporate, I had to sit around and like, hey, everybody. Yes. I had to take the soul out my voice, and I never was myself, and I couldn't stand it. I had to dress a certain way and walk a certain way and talk a certain way. That's why I'm so relaxed when I'm on my YouTube. I couldn't stand it. White people are white people, black people are black people. My hair is not your hair. My skin is not your skin. What it takes to take care of my body, it don't take the same thing for a white person. We could braid our hair and go a couple of weeks without washing it. A white person has to wash their hair every day. That's why you ain't supposed to wear braids, because your hair gets tangled up. You don't oil your scalp. White people, black people oil their scalp. We are different. It's just like a dog. You got dogs, but you ain't gonna get no chihuahua to guard your house, is you? The chihuahua has a different diet than the rottweiler. A bird, an eagle is not going to eat the same thing that a little canary going to eat. We are not the same, and it's okay. But somehow we're the only people keep trying to say, because we see ourselves in everybody. In every race, there's a black person. In the Mexican race, there's black people. In the Japanese race, there's black people. In the Chinese race, there's black people. And there's black people all over. And then you got the real whole black people. That is us. We not the same, but it's okay. We not going and doing things against them because they're different from us. They try to make us feel bad because we want our own space. They can go into their white neighborhoods and live for months and on days and never see a black person. That's why they call the police on you when they see you there. They like, well, wait a minute. Didn't we set the rules where y'all ain't supposed to have shit? What you doing over here with me? Y'all supposed to be broken and shooting each other up and doing drugs and making money for the Chinese that we put in your neighborhoods and for the Arabs that we put in your neighborhoods and for the liquor stores. What you doing over here? That's what they saying when they asking you why you at the pool and why you in the neighborhood or why you fishing. Carlee Russell, Jussie Smollett, y'all are hurting the black people. People like this. So next black person, if you think about doing something stupid, remember you're black. And remember you are black. So stop making black people look bad. When you out here shooting each other, you making black people look like what they want us to look. We are living in a white man's imagination, in the white woman's imagination. That's why they make every movie with they make money off of slave movies, and they say, oh, slavery was a long time ago, but damn it, when they ready to make a slave movie, they make money. When they want a thug and when they want to paint the thug, they get the black people to act it out. They got the black man to run the race for the LGBTQ. The black people accepted it, moved out the way, and guess what happened now? Now the white people taking over. They getting sponsorships. They get to be women. They get to be men with dinglings under a dress, and now you a woman. And now you getting women at scholarships and stuff. We need a place where we need safe places where common sense comes first. Y'all keep saying put God first. Your common sense is God. Because common sense will never lead you the wrong way. If you see a child standing over there and that child have bruises and bleeding, common sense tell you that child, something happened to that child, right? We're not taught to use our God-given thoughts no more. That's common sense. Common sense is God. They done took God and wrapped him up and put him in a white man's body and put him on a stick somewhere and told you to praise Jesus. Your common sense is God. Your common sense is Jesus. That first thought. Yourself, in you will never leave you or forsake you. They want you to be confused of when God is speaking to you. You don't even know how to answer or listen to the God in you because you're looking at the God outside that they put in a book, that they put in a symbol. When she's the first one missing, I'm like, well, I was used to it, but I was thinking she gone. If she was really kidnapped, everybody like, oh, let's see Carlee Russell without her wig, put it out. Like like I told Kathy, she gonna be walking around. If you're kidnapped, you're really gonna be walking around the street. She's a grown woman. Was somebody gonna have a gun and walk next to her and have her walking around where you could see her? We need to be looking into other places where they don't go. White people neighborhoods, underground tunnels. Look at these hotels and stuff out here that are known for human trafficking. Look up that man on Instagram. He's saying how there's human trafficking in Hilton and different hotels have been being investigated because they are allowing human trafficking coming through. The CPS. Black people, stop being part of the problem because we got a bigger problem. We need a safe place for us. Let them have this chaos. Let them have hell that they created on earth. Because this was, if you look at history and we knew our history, we lived millions of years before the devil came down and mixed up the minds of the people. We built the great pyramids. We had everything till the devil came and confused the world. Be careful. They lusted after the black woman. Remember Sarah Bolton? Now they got us squatting down and shaking behind just for the white man's money. We'll do anything. Selling our kids for drugs. And most of the people are on drugs because you want to get away from this reality called life. Yeah, they need us. That's why they won't let us go. That's why they'll let the Chinese go on, and they need the Chinese to keep us so that they can put their little shops in our areas and take our money. But they don't bother the Chinese. They need the Jews. They need us so that the Jews can come in there and take our money with the music and stuff, but they don't bother the Jews. The Arabs come over here and they build the gas stations, or the Arabs and the Indians, they come over here with the gas stations and the hotels and get the money. And all of that is being ushered back to white supremacy through the banks. They found a new way of slavery. They took slavery out the hands of individual white people and they put it in the white government. Stop playing. We got other things to do. And we ain't got much time before they finish destroying the earth. The air is polluted. The water is polluted. Our minds are polluted. When you pollute the minds of gods, when you pollute the minds of God people, you have chaos. We tried to tell you a long time ago about the vaccines and the COVID. Now look at the results. Now they go back and they don't even apologize. All these people dying because they already telling you they wanted to depopulate the earth. Bill Gates just released a whole bunch of GMO mosquitoes. And guess where he released it at? Where most black people are. They test dummies, test subjects, sex slaves, workers. We everything to them. They did nothing but bring everything that they have created, brings destruction, death, and confusion. They don't bring anything to make life better. They bring things that make life comfortable for them. We weren't here for AI and computers to do everything. So when AI and computers come around, there's no need for black people in the essential places, as long as we allow them. But you know what we'll be saved from? When we have our own towns, our own safe places, our own small micronations where we can get away from all the madness. Because some of them gonna want to come where we at. But I just want to say that the Carlee Russell thing is BS. Don't be mad. Your family, we are owed answers. Because as a black woman, Carlee Russell, you represented us at that moment. You represented the fear. You represented the black women who are kidnapped. You represented the black women who are tricked. You represented the black women who do not get coverage when they go missing. You owe us. You do reside in Hoover? I used to live in Hoover. I used to work at WBRC at the Red TV station. That's why I said I've seen Birmingham is a human trafficking hub. But they don't say that. Most of the black towns, they either burned them down, flooded them, or made them into drug-infested places, or they made them into human trafficking hubs. Let's look at the truth. And Sylvia Honor could tell you, Hoover, Alabama ain't too far from Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia, they found a whole house full of people who were human trafficking. Nobody said who rented the house. Nobody brought back up the story. Nobody talked about all the people that they found, and they were black kids, if I'm not mistaken. Come on. But I'm going to get out of here because these kids are asleep, and I got to take them to school and do some work. I just wanted to stop in here. You're going to see more of me. I just need you to see what you're not seeing. Sit tonight and think. Think. And think about the where you want to live. Think about, like, hey, if you want to live in a place like New York, Miami, Dubai, all these nice places, we're gonna have to build them. So until they get built, we're gonna have dirt and trees. We got to put ourselves together and buy land. We need 20 people who want to buy some acres of land. If it's more, the merrier. You cannot beat buying an acre of land for $6,000 or $10,000 in California. That's what we're doing. So if y'all go to the website www.theunitedempiresofakibalon, if you go ahead and sign up paying $10 a month or pay it for the year, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to buy land, because what out of everybody that's doing stuff, my vision as a YouTuber is to have a place where we all can come in and out of. You ain't gonna be, we're not saying move from where you at, but you'll have a second home. You will have let's build a second home that we all can go to until it becomes our permanent home. How about that? It take about $10,000 an acre to build a man-made lake. We could get tiny homes, or we can build homes. We can go ahead and have our kids learning to be carpenters and electricians and plumbers, the things that's needed in earth. Not this BS jobs that these white people done came up with so they can rule us. Think. I want you to think tonight. What would it be like to be in a, they don't want you to think about being with black people, because the image of black people living together is the ghettos. Let's get a new image of black people working together, farming, getting along, doing what we got to do because it's needed. Y'all have a beautiful, blessed day, and we'll be back. I know I definitely will be back on Sunday, but I'm gonna be back again this week. But Sunday is my days, because Sundays between 1 and 2, between 1 and 3 o'clock. But I'll put up the the notifications. So y'all have a beautiful, blessed day, and think about what I'm saying. Peace.